Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the break. We're getting ready to jump back in with more great insight, information, and conversation from our outstanding speakers. So let's get back to the summit and let's get started now. To kick off our second half, we have our speaker, Dr. Kantisa Rowell, who's a doctor of education, and she's a professional day trader. And the title of her presentation is Trading with Precision, a proven system for consistent income in today's markets. Dr. Kantisa, let's hear what you got to share with us today, and let's keep the energy going.
DeAndre, thank you for that amazing introduction. All of the speakers have been awesome, and Dr. Constance is definitely a tough act to follow. She so eloquently explained how our relationship with money is so important and our limiting beliefs are real and they can follow us into adulthood. Also, we have Jose Martin, who I'm going to piggyback on, did an amazing job of painting the picture to show the advantages of investing in the stock market and how you can have a favorable return. So what I want to do is to show you how to take advantage of those favorable returns, that volatility on a daily basis. I do have a presentation here. So trading with precision. Again, my name is Dr. Kantisa Rowell. I have an extensive, or formerly had an extensive career in education, spanning over 2 decades across all grade levels, K through 12, both instruction as well as administration. School level, district level, was a professor in both College of Education as well as in the College of Business. So I dedicated my career to teaching, leadership, and transformation. As my alignment with the K through 12 system shifted, and I developed this ability that I have, to earn my annual 6-figure salary on a monthly basis, I made the intentional decision to transition fully into my new passion. However, I'm continuing to teach, but through a different life-changing discipline. So I am thoroughly trained in both fundamental as well as technical analysis. My training did not come through social media, nor do I recommend social media as a primary source of learning about investing, day trading, stock market in general. And I often say that there are professional day traders and there are professional social media marketers. And rarely do you find that skill set, both the skill sets, in one individual. So take that and do what you want with it. But one accomplishment that I'm very, very proud of is I'm especially proud that I cash flowed and self-funded my entire system. I do not have any tech investors. I do not have any outside financial backers. I do not have $1 million in startup debt. Because of that, I operate with complete independence, complete integrity, and complete freedom, without the pressure of having to repay any investors or aggressively attempting to sell any individual into our program. So a brief legal notice: this seminar is for educational purposes. Carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you, given your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources. Always consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before investing or trading any financial instrument. At the end, I do have a very special opportunity to share with you. You'll have an opportunity to apply to join us. There are 3 specific pillars of day trading. Any sort of day trading, you can narrow it down into 3 pillars. 1 being market alignment, 2, your structural setup, and 3, risk management. And I will go into each of those. So the first pillar, alignment, which I like to refer to as the big brother concept. That simply means, in layman's terms, you're following the macro trend, meaning we're following the direction of the big institutions. We're allowing them to lead, and we're able to, well, I'll be able to teach you how to detect their footprints. We want to follow the largest players. We do not want to go against them. Pillar 2, your setup, and which I teach, is the Uniform Legacy Trading Framework, which I am the architect of. Most traders fail because they have so many different indicators all over their chart. So we use a museum clean chart, which reduces the cognitive load. The Unified Legacy Trading Framework was engineered for traders who are tired of guessing and ready to trade with precision. It's combined 2 strategic tools that provide exact market specifics needed for high probability entries. One tool is designed for directional bias. Are we buying or are we selling? Just as basic as that. The second component, it's disciplined execution. Are we buying here or are we selling here? So it's designed to remove the confusion and to increase the consistency, help to bring about more clarity, confidence, and most importantly, a repeatable process for long-term profitability. And if I may say so myself, it is all that I imagined it could be, and it delivers. So let's talk briefly about precision versus speculation. If you look at the approach, some people that are speculators may view it as gambling, but with precision trading, it's rule-based and systematic. So when we're talking about market view, if you're speculating, it can appear very chaotic and random. However, with precision trading, it's structured, it weeds out the noise, and it's mathematical. So let's talk about risk management. If you're speculating, it's very reactive. You lose, let's say you have a loss, you view the stop loss as pain. However, with precision trading, you're more proactive and your stop loss is simply your overhead. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. And then scalability. If you're speculating, you can't scale that. However, with precision trading, you are in fact able to scale it, increasing the number of contracts. However, managing your risk. And then the third pillar, the entrepreneur's edge. Successful business owners, you understand risk. Trading is simply the management of capital through a series of probability, hopefully high probability based outcomes. And by focusing on what you will risk, you gain the psychological freedom to capture what you can earn. So risk as business overhead. All businesses have overheads. Let's talk about your operating costs. A retail store pays rent. An e-commerce store pays for ads. A trader pays through a stop loss. Simply the cost of doing business. Business is business. Let's talk about the math. Losing a trade isn't a failure. It's a data point. When risk is fixed, which is the overhead, the profits, which is your revenue, can scale indefinitely. And then removing emotions. Entrepreneurs don't cry over paying the electric bill, do they? So precision traders, we don't cry over a stop loss. It's simply a ledger entry. Now, this is something all new traders have to work on, which is the path to consistency. Phase one is where you develop your discipline, consistently doing what you trained to do, removing the emotions. Phase two, you're now systematically executing. And then phase three, that is when you scale it. You may decide to take on a little more risk. Personally, I am a very conservative day trader. My risk is always minimum. I am very disciplined. So consistency isn't a straight line. It's the result of following a rule-based system over time. Build your legacy. Trading is the ultimate business for discipline. Again, discipline. Third time, discipline. Entrepreneur. This is the exact framework I trade on a daily basis, the one that I teach to remove confusion and to trade with clarity. Most traders struggle because they're mixing signals. They are dealing with analysis paralysis. One signal is reading bullish. The other signal is reading bearish, and they're confused, don't know what to do. However, my system simplifies everything. As I shared, the first component gives you direction. Are we buying, meaning we're going up, or are we selling, meaning we're going down? The second component gives you the timing. We're buying now, right here, or we're selling now, right here. If those two do not align, nothing else matters. So if there is no alignment, there's no trade. The discipline alone with these two components protects your capital. So you simply study it, internalize it, and execute it. We're not here to chase the market. We are here to wait for precision and let the market come to us. As far as the next training session for the Unified Legacy Trading Framework, the live intensive, Monday and Tuesdays, that is when we have chart preparation days. You will attend one or the other. Both of the days are not necessary. And then on Tuesday, May 9th, Thursday, May 21st, that's the day one for this intensive. And then you can see the following days for this intensive. Day two, Friday, May 22, day three, Saturday, May 23, day four, Saturday, May 24, day five, Sunday, May 24, day five, Tuesday, May 26. Following the intensive, we have ongoing weekly training every Wednesday, and everything happens from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. CST. That has simply proven to be the best time for those with a career and for those who are transitioning out of a career. Questions and next steps. How do you reach me? There's a couple ways that you can reach me. It's limited to 25 individuals per intensive because I just cannot reach more people than that to provide the one-on-one hand holding to get everyone through and to be successful. I'm not interested in instruction. This is transformation. So the first website you're able to reach me on, unified-legacy-framework.appowls.com, or you can go to the Every.Black website and you'll find me there, Dr. Cantisa Rowell. Third, you can simply text your name and email address, and then I can forward to you the application to apply. You can text me at 682-200-9281. All three of these means you will be able to reach me. So again, build your legacy. Opportunity awaits. Maximum capacity is 25 people. Thank you for your time. You can have your 4 minutes back.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Another great presentation, and filled with information. And again, I love when you first started. I'm like, you're self-funded. You don't have money coming in from this person, so it's unbiased.
Correct.
I love that. I love that. So, kind of share a little bit more about why you took that route.
You mean not getting any money from anybody?
Correct.
Okay, that's twofold. Look at me. Who wants to give me money? And secondly, after I saw a couple people who did take the money, they no longer had control of their business. They no longer had control of who to allow into their business. And I don't want to be in that predicament because there are certain individuals, certain personalities that would not be productive for our group.
Well said. Well said. Right. And I noticed you said it a number of times, the word discipline.
Yes.
How important is that? You put it in there in your presentation a number of times. How important is discipline?
If I had to rate discipline in terms of anything, I have to say it's the Bible. If you don't have discipline, there's absolutely no way. I just can't see you having success as a day trader.
Wow.
And that's the fortunate or unfortunate truth.
Yeah, great analogy. Now, what have you heard? I'm quite sure you have, but I've heard it out there. What do you say to those people that say day trading and stocks and all that, it's a scam?
I don't say anything because it's not for everyone.
Oh, you're good, Doc.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's not, those aren't the people for me to go chase, and those aren't the people for our group.
Bingo.
I've never run an ad. I've never went out to recruit anyone. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. From the time that I began teaching day trading courses, let's see, was it about 5 years ago? That is when I was transitioning from my district administrator position. And I was teaching early mornings, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. EST for free by Zoom.
Oh,
And
wow.
I said to them, I'm tired. So this isn't something that I actually planned to do. This was never going to be my thing. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'll tell you. And I wasn't going to teach those mornings anymore. And then they said, well, create a course. And I said, I had never thought about that. So I did, in fact, create a course. And from that time, 5 years ago, at the end of the training, that training had already filled my next training. So I've never advertised to
Wow.
anyone.
Wow. That says a lot. That says a lot. And then, which leads me to this here. You limit your class to 25, which
Correct.
makes it again intimate. You're focused on those instead of having 100 people that you can't focus on. You limit it to 25. And I like that.
Yes. Prior to my the creation of my framework that I currently use, and I refer to it as me in a box. So, like, if you would wonder what traits I would take, my framework tells you the traits that I would take. So prior to me creating the framework, I would only have 10 at a time
Mm.
because I just couldn't get to all of them to trade one-on-one with each of them. However, my framework is helping me to do that. That's why I was able to increase the number to 25 now.
Ah, okay, okay. And lastly, I love how you said to not chase the market, but let it come to us.
Right. That is definitely a taught skill. And it simply means if you see 95% of the time I trade the NASDAQ, and that's what I teach everybody to trade is the NASDAQ. However, just because a candle is shooting up really fast, that doesn't mean go chase that candle. We want
Right.
to enter at the beginning of the trends, and that's what I help them to identify the beginning of uptrends as well as the beginning of downtrends.
Wow.
And we trade that middle safe part of it, not the first 10%. We don't want the last 10%. We want that middle 75 to 80%. Yes.
Wow. Like I said, I wish we could just keep this going and going and going, but but we got to go ahead and get to our next speaker. So definitely stick around because we got a Q&A session, and I'm quite sure there's going to be a lot of questions for you all on the panel. So right now, if you love hearing from the Dr. Katisa here today, make sure you put a emoji in the chat or put the thumbs up. There we go. Get the hand
Thank
claps
you.
going
Thank you.
and
Thank
the
you,
heart
everyone.
emojis. All right, Dr. Katisa, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Again, this is just exciting with a lot of information. So hopefully you all are taking some notes. Again, there will be a replay, but you want to go ahead and start taking some notes and act on it right now, right now. So we're going to keep the energy going. We have our next speaker, Mr. Rashad Carmichael. He's the branch manager for
DeAndre,
Multi-State
DeAndre,
Insurance Executive Territory
DeAndre, DeAndre, let me interrupt you for a second. Rashad
Manager.
had to step away. So let's, if Kenneth Williams can turn on his camera, we'll make him next.
Okay. Like I said, we're going to keep this going here. So as soon as I see the camera on for Mr. Kenneth Williams, we will continue on.
Hello, everyone. Mr.
All
Ford,
right.
doing a great job. I appreciate you. I'm going to basically do a rapid charge fire because of the restriction of time. I do want to lay down two caveats. One, the information that we received so far has been excellent. All those particular approach to financial stuff is really good and solid. And my approach is basically looking at the Index Universal Health Insurance Policy as a foundation for all financial planning services, which includes as an entrepreneur, as an investor. And I'm going to actually go through the My PowerPoint presentation is actually going to go through the reason why, and I'm going to rapid fire. So if I can actually get this thing to move and we can get this thing started. One second, let me back it up. Okay, this approach is called the laser fund. This is an index universal life insurance contract, but I'm going to actually tell you why and how powerful it is. And we're going to end up looking at one of my clients and look at actual numbers and how we're going to end up benefiting from this structure. Okay. 80% of life insurance, index universal life insurance, is not sold properly. What we try to do is make sure that it functions almost like a piece of real estate. You don't want to rent your life insurance, you want to own it. And that's basically why it was designed by E.F. Hutton. And that's why it was designed for. And that's how people who have knowledge, that's how they basically use it. There's this thing called time. Time is your is your enemy. Taxes, inflation, market volatility, which a lot of people end up losing money primarily because they don't understand market volatility and economic uncertainty. We don't know what Donald Trump is going to do. He's going to impact the market, going to war. Your cost of inflation has increased substantially and it has impacted the stock market. The only reason the stock market is going so hard right now is primarily because of artificial intelligence and the NASDAQ, S&P 500, where most of your first 500 companies are, is not moving anywhere close to what the NASDAQ is. And the NASDAQ is the primary mover of the stock market right now. The laser fund has a meaning. It means the liquidity. You get to your money when you want to. You're not restricted by the tax law. You have assets, it's moving, your money is safe, money will not lose if the market crashes. You have earnings and you have great rates of return. Again, I'm going through this relatively fast. So one, taxes are always going to go up with $40 trillion in debt. The government can only get money by raising taxes. You already see the impact of inflation for the past 8 years, I believe. And market volatility is something that's always going to be with us. It frightens people, and that's why most people do not get the kind of returns from the stock market that the market actually does, primarily because they get frightful and they pull the money out at the wrong time and they invest their money at the wrong time. They normally invest their money when the market is high, and on the first pullback, they're pulling the money out of the market. So here is a bit of a historical of the tax rate. Right now we're at a relatively low tax rate of 37%. It inched up a little bit and dropped back down. Back in the 40s, it was 94% was the bracket, but that was for people who was making over $200,000 at the time, which is probably equivalent to 10 million right now. So back in 1917, a $20,000 income is equivalent to today's $511,000 income. In 1917, the tax rate was 12%. In 2018, $500,000 was taxed at 35 to 40%. The same buying power, but you're paying substantially more in taxes. That's a 200% increase from 1917 to 2018. The biggest thing we want to do is basically lose money. That's what Warren Buffett basically says. There's two rules. Rule number one, don't lose money. Rule number two, don't forget rule number one. Why? Let's look at the average rate of return. What most people say, well, the market gives you X dollars of the average rate of return. Let's identify the difference between an average rate of return and a compound annual growth rate. So if I made 50% increase in one day, in 1 year, the second year I lost 50%. The third year I gained 50%. And the fourth year I lost 50% again. The average is 0, right? However, when you talk about actual performance, the compound annual interest rate, let's look at how money really works. If I had $100,000 invested in the market and went up 50%, and then I lost 50% the following year, I'm now down to $75,000. If I increase it by 50% more, I'm up to $112,000. And if I lost that other 50%, this is the fourth leg, I am down to $56,250. That's a 43% loss. My average was zero. So you cannot get confused with average versus the long-term capital gains. This is a graph of the past 20 years of the stock market S&P 500 movement. Back in 20, it made 8.97%. Then we had 3 years of losses. We had a 32% gain. Normally, the market, after a substantial loss, will have a good rebound coming back up on a good bounce. So I'm not going to go through each bar, but this was in 2008 when we had the real estate crash, the big market loss. And the following year, it had a 55% gain. So we're looking at an index universal life insurance contract. One of the primary benefits of it is that you cannot lose money based on market fluctuation or market volatility. The same 20 years, but when the market was down 3 years, we did not lose anything. There was a floor there. Then we participate in the market going up. This particular idea is showing you with an 11% cap. So if the market went up 30%, I am capped off at 11%. This is basically the benefit of being inside of an index universal life contract, because the most important thing it does is protects me from market losses. So if the market lost, I don't have to worry about getting a rebound to make up the difference. So if you follow the chart, here it was the big downturn, and then 2008, and then we had a little bounce of 11% by our growth of it. But this is a regular index universal life insurance contract. What we recommend you do is do what we call the laser fund. And inside the laser fund, we have a thing called indexing. Indexing is not the S&P 500, it's not the NASDAQ. Indexing is there's certain options you have within the contract that allows you to move money from one place to the other. So we have a 0% floor. We also have an option inside the IUL where there is no cap. We can make as much money as we possibly can. Actually, it's called the spread. So if the market went up 30%, I have a 5% spread. My return on my dollar is 25%. So that's the benefit of having the laser fund and having a strategy where there is a no cap based on the market. Well, here is, again, 20 years that passed by. Here's those 3 years that market lost money. We did not lose money. On the rebound, it went up 32%. We gained 27% of that 32%. When it went up 55%, we gained 50% of that increase. The unique thing about index universal life contract, I'm sure I missed the first two meetings, the first two sections, and she probably talked about this. You cannot lose money once money is credited to this particular account. This account is not set up for death benefit. This account is strictly set up for cash accumulation. So here's a picture of what the market has done. If I had $330,000 in an IRA account and I had a buy hold strategy, over those 20 years, I would end up with $631,000. If I'm in an index universal life contract, just a straight contract with 11% cap, I would end up with over $1 million during that same time frame. Here, I am suffering downturn of the market, as I showed you earlier, but inside of the IUL, there is no downside. You don't lose money. And inside the laser fund, because we're indexing and we move money from a cap to a no cap strategy, we ended up with $1.6 million. So you can manage money inside of an IUL to take advantage of market volatility, is basically what we're looking at. It doesn't matter where I start off, because each one of these slides can like stand on their own basis what I want to share with you. But here's where we was looking at on the IUL and the laser fund, where we got that 50% return. And this is the screen I just showed you where we look at the whole buy and hold strategy inside of the stock market, the S&P 500, first to have the money inside of an IUL, and then having that money being able to be managed and manipulated inside the IUL by taking advantage of uncapped strategies. This is a 401k picture. This is RMD. RMD guys stand for required minimum distribution. The government tells you you can hold money inside that account forever. You have to take it out. And right now, it's at age 73 years old is the mandated. They're talking about moving up to age 75. But if I pulled out $173,000 off of a mandated required minimum distribution, I got paid taxes of $56,000. So my spendable dollars is $107,000. And so that laser fund, we use the same dollar, we invest in the same way. I have $233,000 I can use, and this is income tax free. Okay, that's the income tax free pull out of my dollars. The reason I mention real estate, there's requirements that the tax law says you have to do in order to take advantage of the benefits inside of an IUL. I like to use a real estate analogy to show you. So if you bought a floor apartment building, you want to rent it out as best you can. So once you rent it out, then you put out all the revenue out of that building. The problem is that the government basically says you can't do it that way. You can only rent out one floor at a time. So in order to put money into an IUL, the max funded to only put in enough dollars one at a time over a 5 period of time in order to benefit from the tax savings and the tax-free distribution of this account. Okay, next four. So the way it works is this. This is our little cash bucket. The cost of insurance comes out here, and that's basically as minimum as you possibly can. The government said how much death benefit you have, and we don't want death benefit, we want cash. So we want as minimum death benefit as we possibly can. So this is based on DEFRA. DEFRA and TEMRA is the tax law that determines how fast we can fill up this bucket. So the first year we can put in money. Second year we can put in more money. So by the fifth year, we can have this thing fully funded and start pulling money out of it as we want to. So we don't want it for a death benefit. We actually want to own the death benefit. We want ownership of our life insurance. Therefore, it's not taxable. So I'm going to skip this screen real fast. So we look at liquidity, safety, rate of return, and the tax advantage tax-free income. The danger of 401k for the most part is that it's going to be taxed and you have no idea what the tax rate is going to be when you get ready to retire. You may be saving money in a 25% tax bracket today. When you get ready to retire 10 years from now, the tax bracket may be up 50%. You don't know about that. You normally don't pull out income out of a brokerage account because of the volatility of it, and they can't give you a rate of return and be solid with it. There's a rule called a 4% rule, and basically a 4% rule says that if you're going to pull money out the account, you shouldn't pull out any more than 4%. So if you have $1 million in your account, the maximum they want you to pull out is $40,000, right? But then that money is still taxable. So if you're in a 25% tax bracket, right, or you won't be well, yeah, yes, you will. 25% tax bracket. Now you got to pay $10,000 taxes, so you're going to live off of $30,000, and you have a nest egg of $1 million, and that's because of safety. They don't want you to run out of money. So when you have your money to a 401k, Uncle Sam is your benefactor. He's your partner. So he determines how much money you're going to pay out of that. So take back control. When you pay taxes, you got paid on earnings, you pay it on your rent or your portfolio, and you pay it on that brokerage account. So when someone trades stocks inside of a brokerage account, that is capital gains, that's a taxable event. When you get dividends, that's a capital event. When you get interest, a taxable event. So those are the only places where you have to pay taxes at. This is a very important screen, guys, okay? If I had $1 and I doubled every year for 2 years, so in the first year I got $2, and in the second year I got $4. After 20 doubling, I would have $1.48 million. If that is taxed and I pay a 25% tax bracket on it, that $1 million is now only worth $72,000. If I pay taxes on a 33% tax bracket, I only have $27,000 out of that million. Okay, and that's why wealthy people run away from taxes. You should too. It's devastating what it does to your income, and you want to look every particular tax break you can possibly get. I'm going to skip this screen. It's not that important. It basically says the more you defer, the more taxes you pay. The more you defer, that's why wealth people have means. They do not have 401k. They do not have government programs. Okay, they invest their money in equity and stocks and in real estate because there are basic laws that allow them to save on tax dollars. It's only the working class, the W-2 person, where they said, "Hey, invest in the 401k." And what they did was they took away the pension. It used to be we had a pension program where the company was 100% responsible for the investment. The company was 100% responsible for performance. The 401k was not designed for you. It was designed for upper middle class managers so they have another place to store their money. Businesses found out, or corporations found out it was a lot cheaper to have a 401k because if you don't contribute, they don't contribute. And then they transfer the responsibility of that investment to you and say they're not even responsible for the performance. That's why the majority of people in this country right now do not have adequate amount of money for retirement. Okay, this is an old screen. I forgot to edit that out. So here's how money functions. In a regular account, like your banking account or your brokerage account, you pay taxes first. Before it goes in, you pay taxes as it accumulates. You pay taxes when you take a distribution, your capital gains tax. And then when you transfer it to your heirs, to your kids, to your grandkids, it is taxable again. A tax deferred program, like a non-qualified tax account, you pay taxes on the money that you contribute. It grows, the accumulation of it grows tax-free. But when you take money out, it's taxable. And when you transfer it to your heirs, it's taxable. A traditional RA account is tax deductible going in. You defer it accumulate tax-free, but it's taxable on distribution and it's taxable when you transfer it to your heirs. Okay, I'm sorry, the RA account got lost in that trash. I'm not going to go back and try to find it. So 3 basic strengths of indexing. Do not lose money in the down market. Once that money is credited you, it's locked in. So once you have a credit to your account, you not lose money because the market goes down. Okay, and it resets. So after the end of the year, it starts over again. So when there's market decline, you don't lose money, but your growth starts from the decline of the market. So you don't start in the same place that you did before the market closed. We're skipping these because I want to get something that's important. So once you have your IUL pulled up and it's fully functional, that's when all the funds come out to your income tax rate. I'm going to skip to get one of my to the illustration of a real life investment portfolio, and we can get back to this because this is important. This is a client that I've done. We put in $108,000 over that 5-year period of time because the law says this is what we can do. This is the $500,000 we put in. Plus, she's paying $1,000 a month thereafter. And then in the 6th year, we couldn't put it all in the 5-year, but we can put in another $49,000 in the 6th year. If you would notice, in the end of 5 years, she has $543,000 invested in the contract. Her cash accumulation is at $553. She's fully funded. All right, so she actually owned her contract. She's fully funded. So she puts in another $1,000 after that. She puts in another $1,000 a month. Okay. And at one point in time, she wants to start taking income off. So at age 70, she wants to put out income. She can put out $70,000 a year for the rest of her life. And she would still end up with, here she has a death benefit of $1.9 million that she can pass on to her kid. I don't have the fountain screen on here. For some reason, it didn't show up. But she would end up passing on to her child, to her kids, almost $2 million if she lived age 100. But she pulled out this $100,000, this $70,000 for the rest of her life. I'm going to go back to screen and show you something. The reason why I said this is your foundation, if you got this funded and you want to pull money out, that she's going to end up buying a house again in a year's time. She can pull out her earnest money and her down payment and borrow it from the insurance company. She borrows it at 5%, but this account will probably make her 8 or 9%. So she's making money on money she's actually spending. So you can pull this money out for any reason you want to. You can pull it out to invest in the stock market. You can pull it out to buy another piece of real estate property. You can pull it out to start your business. And when you're not pulling it out, you're taking a loan against it. So when you borrow this money at 5%, the performance of the market may give you 7, 8, or 9%. So you're actually making money on money that you actually are using for other purposes. And that is what we call a crazy word. It's called interest arbitrage, which I have a screen in here, but we're not going to have time to get to it. Okay. So these dollars that we have here is totally liquid. Money in motion creates wealth. So you don't have money to sit in a location where it's not functioning for you, it's not moving for you. So there's no way we're going to end up with having $1 million sitting in this account and go out and buy a sitting unit apartment building complex, because we're going to make money when we borrow it, and we're going to make money on our investment. So whether that's real estate or a stock portfolio, you want this money to be constantly moving so it generates more wealth for you. Okay. So the max funding of IUL, for the most part, you have fees, cost, and you have the outcome. Most people think, well, I don't want to pay for a life insurance policy. But if you compare that to a brokerage account, they're going to charge you 1.25% to manage an account. So if I have this money in a brokerage account and I put in $1 million and it grows at 7% interest over a 30-year period of time, all right, that's $2.63 million I have. I would have end paying at 1.1%, $1 million in fees. Okay, so I end with 3.74 million, but I end up giving away 1% fees. A max fund, the IUA account, does not have a managed account, so every dollar stays in there. And the commissions that is paid to these people are paid by the insurance company. So none of your dollars are taken out or diluted from the approach. The other thing I want to point out really quick is that when you're buying a life insurance contract, you only pay for the cost of insurance. So as you build up cash value inside of your life insurance policy, the risk that the insurance company is taking is coming down. And that's the only part that you pay for. You pay for the cost of insurance. So as it comes down, so does your fees. Okay. This is just a comparison. I'm not going to take the time to go through that. And I want one more approach, and I think I missed it. This is just a model to show you the difference in fees versus now your contract. Again, the commission is not paid by you, it's paid by the insurance company. But if you have your money in a brokerage account, you're actually paying those fees over a period of time. Okay. I am probably close to 20 minutes. I apologize for the issues I had. So we're going to end it there. Okay.
All right, all right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kenneth Williams. Again, you were loaded with information, just like a lot of the other panelists. And again, we enjoyed you. Real quick, you mentioned using the policy as a financial foundation. Why is having such a strong financial foundation so important before people begin investing in other opportunities?
Well, one, and IUL is the only instrument we have in our financial department that allows you to do what I just told you. If you pull money out of a brokerage account, there is no leverage. Well, you can borrow, you can do leveraging out of a brokerage account, but the thing is, the leveraging interest you have to pay to borrow the money in the brokerage account, there are rules that ties to it, and you actually have that money call. You actually have your stock so from under you if the market goes against you, but you don't have control over it. The money you borrow from an IUL, you have control over it. You pay the interest rate when you want to, or you don't even have to repay the interest rate. So you have more control over it. Unlike a Roth account that gives you tax-free income, inside of an IUL, you can catch up with a distribution. So you can put money in an IUL when you cannot do it in Roth. Once you pull money out of a Roth account, it cannot be refurbished inside an IUL. It can. So if IUL is basically the only thing that gives you control, and as you borrow that money, you can actually take that money and reinvest it. So your foundation is that it does more than one job, and it's going to end up making you money even when you use that cash flow for other purposes. So if I want to buy real estate, my money never comes out of the contract, stays in the contract and continues to grow. I am borrowing money from the insurance company. I am not borrowing my money. I am borrowing money from the insurance company. My money is only as a leverage, is only being held as a collateral, but it's in the contract in still form. So I can still obtain 11% return for my money, even though I'm using it for something. So that becomes the reason why it should be your foundation. So if I wanted to buy a car, I'm not going to the bank to buy a car. I'm going to borrow the money from my insurance company, buy the car in cash, like I've done, and then pay my loan back to my insurance company on my terms when I want to and how much I want to. So the whole game is control. But when you go to a third party, you lose control. Inside of an IUL, you control of your contract. I wanted to mention one illustration I did for my client. People think, well, that's a whole lot of money to put into a life insurance contract. Well, it's not really. People put in substantially more than that, you know. But in that particular situation, she sold her home and she had the money because she sold her home. People don't realize this. When you sell your home, the government allows you up to $500,000 income tax free if you're married. If you're single, you can walk away to $250,000 income tax free. And that's how she funded her contract because she got $500,000 income tax free. And now she's going to end up waiting a year, borrow the money out of her account, and then go put as a down payment for her. So we're not going to buy a piece of a house. We're going to buy an investment property. So she will have income coming in on the investment property to help her lifestyle. So the biggest reason why it should be your foundation is because it gives you control. There is no other instrument in our society that gives you the control you have with the IUL.
Wow. Well, thank you again for that explanation. And like I say, we really appreciate your expertise, your wisdom, and again, your knowledge that you're sharing with us this morning. We're coming to a close here. We have another speaker to, again, that information that we want to put to use. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Rashad Carmichael. He's the branch manager, multi-state insurance executive territory manager. And the presentation is titled Purchasing and Financing Real Estate to Retire Early and Enjoy Life. So I'm looking forward to hearing this. So are you ready, Mr. Rashad? Can you hear me?
Hello, how's everybody doing today?
All right, sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Thank you for everybody that's attending. And I have a brief introduction from one of my employees at the branch.
People are unique. So is this location. It's a mortgage branch open daily with the branch manager bringing mortgage solutions for very low. The high credit, first-time homebuyers, veterans, rehabbers, those in the market to refinance or obtain a reverse or jumbo mortgage. He even has a self-employed mortgage department here. Buy real estate with a credit score minimum of 500. Get approved for a mortgage today. Call us at 855-372-3066.
Okay. So thank you for everybody that's attending. I'm Rashad Carmichael. I'm a mortgage branch manager. I'm a multi-state mortgage branch manager and also a multi-state insurance territory executive. I'm responsible for hiring. I'm responsible for bringing resources to the community. And the reason that I'm here is to make sure that people have the correct access to tools, the correct information, the correct products, and the correct product knowledge connections. A lot of times we are not being shown the correct mechanisms that we could be using to prepare our life and to fully get to the goals of our dreams. Sometimes we are having some goals and some wants and needs, but we're not being connected to the right people. We're not being informed of the correct resources, and we're not being connected to the direct access. There's a lot of middlemen and middlewomen, and it's really stopping people from obtaining their true goals and dreams. Sometimes I'm listening to the complaints of not having enough time, not being able to see loved ones, not being able to enjoy life. I hear the constant basic cliche or statement of people are basically surviving and they wish that they could be living. What I bring is direct communication, employees, processing teams, staff in multiple states, in multiple industries that I've used to not only increase the quality of my life, but that's helped me to enjoy my life and live instead of survive. Many people do not have direct communication, a phone number, and someone that is an advocate for them. They have salespeople. And what I'm here to show you is the solutions to a lot of challenges that exist in the current day, solutions that have existed for many years in many states that many people just don't know that exist. I like to operate off of truth versus falsehood because that's what helped me to know what I was supposed to be following and that it was gonna work because we only have one life and we don't have time to waste. A lot of us went to school, we went to high school, and we went to college. Some of us just went to high school. Sometimes we're having trouble with finding direct access to tools and resources and financial education. It really wasn't given to us in school. So it's causing us to have the effect of surviving instead of living. And the things that have helped me, the people that have helped me and still help me, the mentors that I've paid to see or that I haven't paid to see that have spent time with me and spoken to me and given me consultation. And also the executives that I'm now partners with in the insurance and the mortgage and the real estate field, they all have shown me that fruit trees always have fruit. And sometimes people are being led away from the path that they want to go on because they're going to trees with no fruit. And that's what I call the salespeople versus advocacy atmosphere that exists. In my young life, I've accomplished over 20 property acquisitions personally, not as a wholesaler with my own cash. And I use the skills that I've used in my own life, the products, the programs, the concepts, the procedures, the progresses to help clients all across the nation and now the world. I assist people with financing, getting and staying on track if they already have money, and people that are just starting, whether they're college graduates, people that have been working 35 years but still have no retirement, or whether it's people that are successful investors that just want to get more money. I showed them how to accomplish their personal goals, and I showed them how I've accomplished it for myself and my other clients. That's why I'm showing you this screen to start off so that you can see fruit is on the tree. What I also do is I help people to get connected to big companies, and I show people as an advocate and not a salesperson how I work for them and their families and their business instead of the corporations, although I am partners with the corporations. Many people are connected to salespeople and they don't have an advocate. And they know this when, for instance, they have a claim in Florida and all of a sudden it's denied because of a hurricane or the territory, and now the same agent that was so nice is unavailable and sending text messages or defending the company because it's A plus rated and been there for 100 years. Now you know who works for you and who doesn't. But these were the same people that sold you something. So I help people instead of selling them things. I advocate. I'm connected to the nation's largest corporations from Berkshire to the nation's largest banks that you might have heard of, like Chase Bank. But what I do with the banks is I help them with their denied files. I have programs that they cannot offer you. I'm their partner behind the curtains when they can't offer you a program. Maybe you have a lower credit score, if you had recent credit challenges, or maybe you have no income because you're self-employed. I'm one of the branch managers all across the country that they send their business to at the so-called local big banks that many people trust all across the nation. And I'm the one that they send the client to help them with a fix and flip, to help them with a FHA loan or a conventional loan that they cannot do because they cannot underwrite it because they don't have the products, or maybe your debt is too high or your credit score is too low. I'm the person that's coming into the community, just not just a salesperson, but really bringing together things. Sometimes we're having a difficulty because we have one salesperson selling us auto insurance, another salesperson talking to us about a home, another person talking to us about our property insurance, another person talking to us about renter insurance, somebody else talking to us about life insurance, someone else that's not even selling life insurance discussing something to us about some investments. Sometimes these people are licensed, sometimes they're the middle people. Sometimes they're the middleman or middlewoman. But the numbers, like that fruit tree always has fruit, the numbers just can't lie. And all of these people all across America, if I can say that most people are in the wealth gap, that means that most people are using these people and they're getting the same results. And I was also taught that repeating the same thing, expecting a different result is insanity. So what I've decided to do is show people how I put everything together in my life and for my clients to have nothing but success from A to Z. Because sometimes you might come to me and I might help you with a mortgage, but then you're not doing well on your car insurance. You're paying too much for your gas to get to work, and then you're eating every day, and then you're driving back home and eating again, and then your insurance is overcost or overcharging you for your car. That takes away from your savings that you could have used with me to buy a home or an investment property. So I show people how to put everything together because sometimes we have all of these people saying different things. None of them are wealthy. They can't show you the fruit on their tree in their life. And then they're pulling you in multiple different directions, like if an octopus grabs you. And what I also know is the truth is we're supposed to be together as one body, and everything is everything. So our finances should be congruent and working together interdependently, not independently. Just like a community. Communities of success are working together interdependently. Communities that are not successful are moving together independently. And that causes certain communities to overpay, stay in lack, stay in wealth gaps, and never get it together. Because also, like Corinthians says, because I always like to use, like I said, the truth is the foundation to the money. It says that we're one body. One body works together. It never works independently. So these are the same systems that I use that was taught to me from nature's laws that I bring into the economic realm, into my businesses and with my employees. We answer the phone, we respond, we work daily. We have one of the only 7 day a week processing teams. This website that you can go to is like a link tree. It will take you to everything that I do and my partners. It will take you to my website that will show you exactly what I can do for you. This is not about me. I've got into business to not only help myself and live a great life, which I'm living, and you won't see much about me on Facebook because I don't know how to boast too well, but I'm in business to help you to get what you want to accomplish so that you can enjoy your life, so that you can live instead of survive. And it's said that the lack of knowledge causes people to perish, and it also causes people to pay a lot of money. That's why this slide is also up. But please write down that website and use it, share with your friends, your church members, your family members, because also why I'm in business is one reason is because if you are truly my family and friends, and I know all of this information and I'm enjoying my life, and I hear the wealth gap is increasing. The word most Americans are having a problem. So if you're really my family and friend, I'm going to sit up here with all of this knowledge and I'm not going to share it with you in a professional manner with licensed professionals and employees all across the countries of many different demographics. Some of your family members might speak Spanish. Well, guess what? I have translation teams. Some of you are expats or trying to move out the country. Well, guess what? I'm already in some countries with a whole system ready for you from A to Z. Licensed professionals, no middlemen and middlewomen, top banks. I named one. I don't like to name a lot of them because they're my partner and I have more assets than they do. I have more resources and programs than they do. If you have a 550 credit score, sometimes you can't go to the partner that I named, but you can come to me and I can show you how to get what you need accomplished. You might be having bankruptcy issues right now, but you have run into some cash, and all of the real estate agents and all of the Google searches and the AI searches have told you that you need to wait 2 years to buy a home. Well, I can show you proof of what has happened to the California clients that I used to talk to because now they cannot be served. 3 years ago, they were waiting 2 years for their bankruptcy to expire. They didn't know that I had a mortgage program for them right now while they were inside of their bankruptcy and they could have got out of rent and got into home ownership. This would have saved them money then and now because now the rent has doubled. So when you don't have things connected, when you don't have an advocate, someone with fruit on their tree that can show you how they did it in their lives and with their clients so that you can benefit, you're disconnected and you're independent no matter what you say. The proof shows in community stats and just the truth of natural law of the body. And the ancient text says it clearly in Corinthians. The body is one and should be working as one. The eye would never fight with the toe. But some of us have our house fighting with our insurance policy, our credit score fighting with our mortgage, our rent fighting with our car note interest, and our lack of knowledge fighting with our ability to build wealth. Some of us are buying houses the wrong way. Just because you bought a house or a building doesn't mean you bought it right. I show people exactly what I've done to build $1 million portfolio and over 20 houses in my portfolio. And as their lender, I'm able to show them programs and services and direct access to capital with the correct insurance. If it's a vacant property, if it's a building, a commercial property or residential property or a condo on the ocean. Florida has had many of my top partners leave the state, but guess who's still there? Me, with other partners. That's the benefit of working with an advocate and not a salesperson. When you go to McDonald's and they don't have pizza, they will act like pizza just doesn't exist because they don't have access to it. And in certain communities, we're always going to these referral partners, and the numbers continue to not lie. They don't seem to be helping us. This is why I saw the truth when I was growing up, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to depend on the same people that everybody seems to be complaining about. Now, these same salespeople in Florida, California, Illinois, Michigan, Memphis, Tennessee, the whole state, Mississippi, Texas are having huge problems because carriers have left. The salespeople have switched their jobs, switched industries, decided all of a sudden they're retiring. But these were the same people that were talking about wealth, distracting people like me, not telling us that they don't really have fruit on their tree. And this is ruining the children and the communities and the parents because the lack of knowledge continues to cause people to perish. So not only am I a mortgage branch manager, but I also volunteer my services with a not-for-profit. I also love to partner with other real estate agents, other accountants, lawyers, police stations, firefighters, because I have programs for them, grant programs, teacher programs, programs to help business owners to get more business, more funding. I have SBA loan options. I have partnerships options because I'm a lender so that I help other people look better for their customers to bring more value to their community because I keep hearing that we have lack of access to capital, but we're not being told about the available solutions. So again, people have large gaps in their knowledge, and I'm here to bridge the gaps. We have leaks in our piggy banks caused by these same people selling us retirement fee accounts, load heavy retirement accounts, selling us courses. Like I started off with, we drive every day to a job that we lose money to because of our health plan that we don't even understand. And then when we finally get injured or sick, we lose more money in that same month when we just paid the bill. But there was a solution to help you to stop losing money. Because if you can't stop losing money, you can't ever join me to learn how I built my own bank and not only bought real estate, cars, or whatever I wanted, but also I can show you that I take vacations quite regularly. And the vacation to me is quite different. It's a vacation life, one that I don't need to get away from, and that's something that I want to show you how to live instead of survive. Some people can't wait to have a vacation. They just can't wait for that weekend. I love every single day of my life because I learned how to build my own bank. I learned how to have a safety protection umbrella. I also will show you if you follow me and you come to any of my other seminars or webinars that I have outside of here, you'll see that I've built a fort. And I started with drawbridges, alligators, soldiers. They have weapons, and we have walls with artillery built into the walls. These things help you to protect yourself against different changes, job losses. I've never had a job. So how do I get qualified for mortgages to buy so many homes? Well, I'm on the inside. Remember, you always wanted to have a cousin or a friend or your family member at the show or at the game or at the clothing store to give you that hookup. Well, I'm that cousin. Remember, we are friends, right? So I do share how I stop the holes in the umbrellas that could possibly appear because I never had any, but I stopped them from ever possibly coming by building a fort. And it helped me to protect myself from losses and economic turmoil when the stock market crashes. I've been in business with three stock market crashes and I've had no problems because of the walls that I built, the partners, and the real resources. Having no middlemen on my team, straight direct access so that I can control my own life and then I can show others what I did. A salesperson helps you kind of, but it really plays for the company. Myself, an advocate, your friend. Words really mean nothing. Actions mean everything. Your friend, you will see what I'm doing because you will see that I believe in love is a verb. That means that my actions are evident and you don't even have to see me to see what I do. All across the nation, I have down payment assistance programs going in multiple states. I can help you to save money. Remember that car example. If you're losing money when you go to work and then have the health insurance hitting you, you might not can save your money. But I can help you to save money to buy your building or your home or your condo. Maybe even your third house, because some people are going to the wrong real estate agent and they're being told that this is only for first time home buyers, which is a fallacy. Business owners, you might be having a trouble, a problem, a challenge, anxiety. But to the right, you'll see that I've been helping business owners get up to a $500,000 over 10 years now. I am a direct connection with the SBA. And we talked about how I help you to save money by fixing those leaks. And then now we're talking about how I help you to grow money because now you have no more challenges. You have no anxiety. You have the right team because you have me, an advocate with employees, licensed employees, no middlemen and middlewomen, no courses. You don't have to pay to learn. Now you get to take down another number or screenshot it. Now you have your credit is right. You've already been to the RashadSolution.com, so if your credit isn't right, you haven't got tricked by the credit repair people for $750. You got your credit fixed for $69 because you know that you're with a licensed lender that wants you to be able to get what's on this screen and not your credit repair dreams and your credit card dreams and your get the course today and dream tomorrow motivational speeches dreams. You're dealing with someone who's going to show you how to get exactly what you want to get accomplished. The biggest expense is where you live. So now I've helped you with your to get into the real game, and that's getting the biggest expense taken care of. The biggest expense is your housing. You can't get into housing if you can't save your money, and then if you're still struggling with down payments and not really in the real game, struggling with down payment assistance and saving one or two or $5,000, you'll never be able to get multiple assets, multiple properties like I've done for myself. Another picture that I would like for you to take a picture of on your screen, and then in the presentation, I just want you to have the website. You also have the commercial that we started with. These programs to the left, these are another reason why big banks send me their clients when they can't assist them because I have programs that they can't do. A lot of people are having problems picking up foreclosure. They're having problems with their houses being underwater. I can help you with refinances with no appraisals, refinances and purchases with no job income. Also, my partners, the Insurance Plaza, can assist you with anything insurance. And this is how I also help you with the biggest expense that you have, your mortgage, your housing, because you need affordable insurance for your health and your house. And I thank you, everybody, for listening. Once again, this is my website. Remember, when you don't understand, you're helping yourself to lose, and failing to plan is preparing to fail. And that picture is exactly what I do. I help people circulate their money. No
Wow.
cliches. No cliches at all. Everything in this picture is what I do right now. No concepts. Direct partners. And I thank you guys for listening and watching. And this website, you can get a free search of property in your zip code. Sometimes the real estate agents are not showing you the property because they're looking at their commission. They don't want you to see the low cost property. And then they don't want to do the work to find you lending. It's hard for them to do that job. It's a hard, long loan for them. They want their money now, so they'll rather not show you the property. And remember, I'm a lender. I could show you that this is true. You can scan your screen for the last two slides. And thank you. I thank you for your time. You can scan the screen or you can go to the website, insuranceplaza.org, theinsurancplaza.org. Dental plan starting at $20. You can scan that screen also.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, everyone. We're now moving into a brief Q&A and panel discussion with our speakers. And due to time, we'll keep it to about 5-10 minutes. But this will be a great opportunity to hear additional insight, practical advice, and key takeaways from our panelists. Well, let's jump right in right now. Yeah, so if you have a question, just use the virtual raise your hand.
Well, while they're doing that, I just want to thank all of the presenters and also thank people that Andre.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Jimmy. Angela Thomas has her hand raised. Just let us know where you're calling in from and go ahead with your question.
Hey, Andre, long time no see. How are you?
Oh, okay, from Detroit.
Yes, I'm calling from Detroit. I wanted to say that the information, the presentation just blew my mind. I don't even have words for it right now. I feel as though stuff like this should be taught in colleges. It should be taught in the high school, starting out at an early age. About me being an over-the-road truck driver, I just wanted to make sure I can have their contact information to reach out to them because Dr. Constance spoke to me. I spent like at least $100 to $300 a week in food. And Andre, I like to eat. Eating is like my addiction. So I would love to know how to, invest more properly and also grab other truck drivers that's on the road with me and get them to, invest more properly and use our money more effectively. Because we do blow a lot of money out on the road. All
Right.
of us, not just one. So I just wanted to thank you again for the session, and I'm just blown away. I'm on my way to Chicago now, and I just had to pull over to say that.
Well, safe travels, and thank you for joining in with us, Every.Black. Matter of fact, you can catch us at the same link Monday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully this won't be your last.
I'll definitely tune in again.
All right. Thank you.
Well, Angela, hi, this is Dre Martin. Actually, I lived in Detroit for 4 years myself, so I kind of feel like I was an adopted son of Detroit. So I'll put my contact information in the chat for sure. And I always tell people one thing about me: it doesn't cost anybody anything just to call and have a conversation. Like I said, I'm never going to turn somebody down from a question or conversation. And most advisors would never even have their cell phone number and things like that available to people. That's not the way I run my practice. So I just want to pass on that information to everybody.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who else do we have with a question out there? I know Dr. Jimmy has a question.
Well, I didn't have any questions, but like I said, I just can't thank everyone enough for being here, and especially the presenters. And again, we record everything. So what people may not know also is that, I don't know if you noticed the slide during the break, we now have a Roku channel. And so this presentation, this summit, will not only be on the Every.Black website or our podcast, but also on Roku. So literally people sitting in their living rooms will be able to see the presentations that were given today. And so we'll of course we'll edit it, but then they'll be able to actually see the presentations and reach out to the presenters. So I just want to encourage also the presenters one last time, be sure to put your information in the chat so people can reach out to you. And I'll also include that in the replay so that, and that should be ready probably in about a week, the replay in about a week, so that you'll be able to reach out to the presenters here today as well.
Wow.
And I know I learned something from every speaker. I really did. I like, and sometimes some things you know, but you really need to hear it again.
Yeah.
You need to drive home the fact. So
exactly. Wow. So I guess I'll close it out, huh, Dr. Jimmy?
Yeah, I guess so. And thank you, DeAndre, as well. DeAndre,
Hey, yeah, everything was great. Thank you, everybody.
Now, one thing that we usually do is we want to play our theme song. Some of you may have seen it, and some of you may have not. But this is our official theme song, and I'm going to share this with you and just thank you.
Pushing success with a vision so bold we ain't settling for less. Dr. Jimmy Davies laid the whole foundation. Now we moving as a global black-owned nation. Entrepreneurs link from the west to the east. Weekly masterminds where the growth don't cease. AI tech group chats full of wealth, teaching folks how to scale, stack and invest in self. No gatekeepers here, just doors we unlock. Turning side hustles into Wall Street stock. It's a movement, purpose in every track. Uplift the people, try Every.Black. Own it, your dream, your grind, your plan. To the hills, we redefine wealth, teaching systems and skills, how to do it yourself. Weekly meetings with the leaders and game changers. Real talk, real tools, real world shapers. AI study groups got us ahead of the wave. We breaking old chains, now we digging new graves. For poverty, doubt, and them myths they talk. This that build up from nothing, kind of food for thought. You don't need a loan, just a team and a goal. We provide both, yeah, we digging the soul. We the future, the now, and the roots in black. If you're ready to rise, try Every.Black. Own it, your dream, your grind, your plan. We build legacies hand in hand. Every.Black, we ride. No family of founders, a crew of believers, helping dreamers and doers become high achievers. We don't just talk, we coach, we connect. From the mind to the money, we demand respect. Zoom calls turn to breakthroughs and new growth. We celebrate each win, we all toast. Legacy minded, worldwide in scope. Every black ain't a wish, just hope with a road. No gimmicks, no games, just impact. Facts, own your space, your name and your stack. So if you're tired of the cap and the crabs in the back, level up with the squad, try Every.Black. Own it, your dream, your grind, your plan. We build a legacies hand in hand. Every.Black, we ride. No cap, just fact. It's business power, we ain't looking back. Cap, just facts. Every.Black, here we go, y'all. Every.Black is in the house. Own it. Every.Black, own it. Every.Black, own it. Every.Black, own it. Every.Black.
Well, thanks everyone.
All right, everyone. Have a blessed week, and let's put this to work. Let's put it in action.